Today, Christians are mourning the grisly murder of Cardinal Sam Hogan. This is the second murder this week of a religious leader.
What is this task that burdens you?
I must rid the path of these false prophets.
By this time next year, we plan on adding 5,000 new police officers to our streets.
Santo is dead. I'm more concerned that we found his pregnant wife and 7-year-old cut up into pieces.
Most cults, they're pretty secretive. But I've managed to find a way to keep an eye on them.
Because we bear witness to the birth of a new order.
You know anything about this mass suicide?
The mask's missing off the wall.
And why did you need 100 assault rifles for?
I'm making a statement, Thomas.
Things are going to get very bad very soon.
Fantasy Football with Mclovin has been brought to you by City of Mercy. Download City of Mercy on Vimeo On Demand for the promotional offer that expires December 31st.
Guys, it's an unbelievable show. If you look at the trailers, it's really, really good. I highly recommend you guys check it out and download it. You'll really like it, and I can attest to it. And I'm not just saying that because Andy is one of my good friends. It's really, really good, and it's something that you should check out. And they put a lot of time into it. It's well shot. You could tell by the screenplay and the actors, and they put a lot of time and energy into it. And it's something that you folks should check out for sure.
Yeah, it's if you like mysteries, if you like
which I do,
backstories, mythology, that whole deal, conspiracies.
Sure, and that's what I absolutely love. The only movies I really watch are anything with sports or mysteries and conspiracies. Keeps your eyes glued to the television for sure.
So let's go right on into the news. Big Ticket cannot.
Do you want to start with the standings?
No, we'll do that when we normally do.
Okay.
We do that at the end of the deal.
No. It's the NFL standings.
Well, no, we'll do that at the end. We'll do that at the second quarter. How many games are we in? We have next week will be the halfway point.
Yeah, okay. I just want to do okay, that's fine.
All right, so let's see. Source, left tackle Thomas won't ask Browns for trade. Pro Bowl left tackle Joe Thomas will not ask the Cleveland Browns to be traded at the November 1st deadline, according to a source.
I don't know why. I mean, Joe Thomas has really been the only guy that's been there through their whole terrible. I don't even want to say continuous years of bad football. Remember watching Joe Thomas in college? He was a prototypical left tackle. He's a beast, and he's done everything in his power to lock that left side down, and he's done a great job. He is one of the best left tackles in football for sure. He has been. The only reason you don't hear about him is because he's on the Browns, and unfortunately, if he's loyal, I respect that. I respect loyalty more than just about anything else in this world. And if he's loyal to Cleveland, then God bless him. I would hope that his agent would remind him that there's other opportunities out there and that he can go to a different place and probably win a Super Bowl with his talent.
Packers Starks ruled out, may miss few weeks. Packers running back James Starks could miss several weeks after being diagnosed with a meniscus injury, our source told ESPN on Saturday.
Yeah, that's definitely going to hurt him. I mean, you see what what's his name done. He got hurt the other night too. Eddie Lacy. Now Eddie Lacy is a type of back where he needs another guy like Starks, and now they're even putting the wide receiver in the backfield now, taking carries. James Starks is a big time role for that Green Bay team. As you can see, they got slaughtered in every which way against Dallas on Sunday. They really need to establish that run, and if you just have Eddie Lacy and a wide receiver in the backfield, it's going to be difficult. Now, I know the Packers, I think, just traded for Niles Davis from Kansas City, which should definitely help Eddie Lacy, and then if Starks can come back healthy in 2 or 3 weeks. But I think Green Bay's got a lot of problems. It starts with the run. I think their offensive line has been a lot better this year than it was last year. But basically, they're still sleepwalking. They really haven't. Green Bay really has not got back to where they were when they were 6-0, or so it was 5 or 6-0 last year when they started on fire. They have the receivers are healthy. The offensive line is playing better, and everyone's really giving a hard time to Aaron Rodgers, saying he's overrated and everything. I don't think he's overrated at all. I think they just they haven't hit that stride yet. And the good thing about Green Bay is that they still have the talent. So if they do, get in a groove towards later in the season, they can make a run in the playoffs.
Jets Harris, 121 game starting run likely over. Jets linebacker David Harris, who has started 121 consecutive games, is listed as doubtful for Monday's game versus Arizona.
He didn't play.
No, so it was over. Okay.
So David Harris was a middle linebacker out of Michigan. I remember watching him and evaluating him for the NFL draft. And he's a solid player. This guy shows up to work every day, keeps his mouth shut. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to play on Monday. And 121 games in a row in an NFL career is really something you should be proud of. That means that you're taking care of your body. It means that you're really doing everything to get your mind and your body ready for Sunday. If you look at a lot of linebackers in the NFL, a lot of these linebackers can't play a 16-game season because a linebacker, you're putting your head into something every single play. And that's usually a 300-pound offensive lineman. And for him to put 121 games in a row is really meaningful for him and the Jets. Unfortunately, the Jets are absolutely terrible this year. I went and watched that game with Andy last night, and it was just dreadful. But David Harris is someone that they need in the middle of that defense for as long as he's playing football. And basically, he's the captain, he's the anchor of that defense. And it's unfortunate. Hopefully he gets back soon because he's a good player. I like watching him.
Linebacker Ryans sues Texans for 14 injury due to turf. D'Amico Ryans has sued the NFL and the Texans, among others, claiming a 2014 injury he suffered due to the playing surface at NRG Stadium effectively ended his career.
I don't really think he has a leg to stand on. I think every other player was playing on the same surface. I don't think you can sue the NFL and sue Houston for the surface of the playing field. It is what it is. You know what you are going into. You know what types of avenues you have to go about when you play in the NFL, and sometimes that comes along with playing on a surfaces that's not comfortable for you. I mean, I don't know how far he's willing to take this. I don't know how much money he wants to pay his lawyers, but it's really. It's a shame because I used to like D'Amico Ryans at Alabama, especially when he came on. I think he was Defensive Rookie of the Year, and then with Houston, when him and the defensive lineman there, that was #1 overall pick with Houston back in 2006. No, before J.J. Watt. Anyway, they put together a solid defense, a young defense. But it's too bad that he has to, blame somebody else for his injuries.
Kaepernick on USA chant. My stance, quote, patriotic. Before San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick knelt during the national anthem of Sunday's game against the Buffalo Bills, a loud chant of, quote, USA, USA rang out at New Era Field.
Colin Kaepernick, he's effectively really made everybody in the nation hate him. Okay, he's not a good quarterback. He didn't play that well on Sunday. He's really taking this thing way too far. Now it's kind of ridiculous, and no one's backing him up now. Maybe a couple other players on other teams, but he's really made a shithead of himself, and it's sad to see. You know, and he was, for a guy to be on top of the world when he came on the scene with the Niners to where he is now is really a sad disgrace. And the fact of the matter is that they still owe him. You know, they're going to pay him $10-11 million this year, and then his cap hit next year is quite a bit more.
I know they restructured his contract.
Sure,
yeah.
And I think his days are over in San Francisco. Now it's a question of whether he can just, you know, forget all the garbage that he started in August with the kneeling for the national anthem. He sucks. I think his whole message sucks. And basically, this is a guy that was raised by two white parents. Remember, this is not a guy from the Bronx with no father. His father was in the picture. Okay, he had two white parents, and basically, he's just making a big grief out of nothing. So I don't feel bad for him.
Browns Poyer suffers lacerated kidney from hit. Brown safety Jordan Poyer has a lacerated kidney that he suffered from a blindside block on punt coverage in a loss to the Titans.
Yeah, that shows you how dangerous and how dangerous football is. I mean, and you look back at a guy like David Harris, who's done that for 121 games, and this guy, this poor guy, you know, has a lacerated kidney on one play. So it's a dangerous game. Guys know what they're doing when they sign up. They understand that at any point in time you can lacerate your kidney. And, you know, it's unfortunate, but that's the game, and that's what you sign up for. Hopefully it gets better.
Brees sets NFL mark for 400-yard games and win. Drew Brees threw for 465 yards in the Saints' 41-38 victory over the Panthers, setting an NFL record with the 15th 400-yard passing game of his career.
Very impressive. I mean, you have to give a lot of credit to Drew Brees. I mean, this is a guy coming out of Purdue, was, you know, too short and started out in San Diego, you know, tore his ACL or his shoulder, and the Saints picked him up, and he's really changed that franchise, won a Super Bowl for him. But anytime you're throwing for over 400 yards 15 times in your career is a milestone, and you know, Brandon Cooks is his new guy now, who's a top-notch receiver in this league. A lot of people don't know about him, but Brandon Cooks is a guy that you should check out. He's fun to watch. But congratulations to Drew Brees.
Prescott eclipses Brady mark for interceptionless passes. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott has broken Tom Brady's mark for passes to open a career without an interception.
I mean, anytime you break a Tom Brady record, you're doing something right. Dak Prescott, you know, he's really done a great job, a wonderful job. I remember listening to EDP show, and him and the other guy in the show were saying that Carson Wentz were better than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is clearly a better quarterback than Carson Wentz, hands down. I think Dak Prescott, just to be a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, I mean, we're not talking about the quarterback for the Washington Redskins or the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Indianapolis Colts or, you know, the Houston Texans. We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, which is arguably the most followed team in the United States for football. And for him to do what he's done, getting them to a 5-1 record, him and Ezekiel Elliott have really done an unbelievable job. My hat's off to Dak Prescott. I really loved watching him when he was at Mississippi State. And he's done everything and more than they expected out of him. Now, speaking of Tom Brady, the Dallas Cowboys are in the same situation that the New England Patriots were in back in 2001. You had a guy like Drew Bledsoe, you know, he got hurt. Mo Lewis really tore him apart. And then when he came back, was ready to go, Belichick stuck with Brady, and as my dad would say, the rest is history. This is the same situation. Now, I know Jerry Jones has already said Tony Romo will come back. I'm from the don't fix it if it's not broke. Let him go. I mean, why would this is the best Cowboys have been in years, and on both sides of the ball. And why would you break something that's going right? I mean, they just whooped the shit out of a Green Bay team at Green Bay. They whooped the shit out of a Cincinnati team. And I think they should stay with Dak Prescott.
Roethlisberger to have MRI for left knee injury. Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger will get an MRI for the knee injury he suffered Sunday in the 30-15 loss to the Dolphins.
Yeah, I already know that he's not playing on Sunday, so he's out against the Patriots.
Huge for the Patriots.
Correct. Now, we'll see who have they named the starter yet?
No, I don't know. I haven't read yet.
Okay. Well, this is for New England fans. It's going to be it's going to be a lot easier going into Pittsburgh and winning the game. I think they're going to win the game anyway, but without Big Ben, the Dolphins really did a hell of a job against Pittsburgh last week. A game that if you're in a survivor pool, I bet you 90% of people are no longer in a survivor pool because they probably took Pittsburgh over Miami. No one saw that game coming. You got to give a lot of credit to Adam Gase and the Miami Dolphins, and I'm very happy to see him get a great win at home in front of his home fans. And basically, they kicked the shit out of Pittsburgh. They kicked the shit out of Roethlisberger. And now, Roethlisberger, we knew he was going to get injured at some point. He's never going to play a full 16-game season ever again because he's had an injury just about every part of his body. And unfortunately for Pittsburgh fans, which I don't feel bad for, he won't be playing on Sunday versus New England.
Ravens linebacker Suggs has torn biceps, source says. Baltimore Ravens veteran linebacker Terrell Suggs tore his left bicep during Sunday's loss to the Giants, a source confirmed to ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
Couldn't happen to a better guy. Terrell Suggs is diarrhea of the mouth. He's a punk. He's a piece of shit. I don't stand for him. I think he's an idiot. He's a guy that always comes out and really rips Tom Brady. Tom Brady, puts in his face. And I think, karma is a big thing in the NFL, and in the way he treats people, I don't feel bad for him. Hopefully he's out for the season.
Tight end Allen exits Colts overtime loss with ankle injury. Colts tight end Dwayne Allen exited Sunday's game against the Texans in the first quarter with an ankle injury and did not return.
Yeah, that's big for the Colts. He is really an up-and-coming tight end and someone that Andrew Luck, relies on in a lot of different situations now. The Colts, choked on a lead. They were up by 14 points with 2.5 minutes to go, and they ended up losing in overtime. I think that it's bad football. The Colts are the same exact Colts that we talked about for the last 5 years. They're middle of the pack, middle of the road. They have a great quarterback. They have a great running back, but their defense just, is not there, and they couldn't hold on to a lead, 14-point lead. But definitely losing the tight end is going to be an issue for the Colts.
Falcons wide receiver Jones takes issue with crucial non-call. Atlanta receiver Julio Jones was adamant that Richard Sherman's defensive move on the Falcons' final play Sunday should have been flagged for interference.
I agree. I was watching that game. Fox cut to it late. Yeah, Sherman literally took Jones's right arm out of the play. He came in and really took his arm out of the play, so Jones only had one arm, and there was a safety on the top as well. He really got crushed. It was definitely pass interference. Dan Quinn went bullshit on the sidelines, as he should. Credit to Dan Quinn in the post conference. He toned it down and didn't say anything stupid to get himself fined, but for sure that was pass interference, and really. I don't know if Atlanta would have still won the game, but it would have given them a better shot to, kick a field goal and beat Seattle. Atlanta, you got to give them a lot of credit. You got to give Dan Quinn a lot of credit. They're playing really tough, and they beat Denver, which is a good team on the road. They had Seattle beat, until Matt Ryan, threw an interception, and unfortunately, the refs determining the outcome of a football game is not what you want to see, but it definitely was pass interference.
Source, Big Ben to have surgery on torn meniscus. Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger has a torn meniscus in his left knee and will have surgery Monday morning, a source told ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Ben being down is, we'll see what the length of the injury, but it's not good for Pittsburgh.
No, not good at all. Low hit stomp by Cincy's Perfect draw NFL review. The NFL is reviewing 2 plays on Sunday by Cincinnati Bengals linebacker Vontaze Burfict.
I saw these 2 plays, and this is a guy who should be kicked out of the league. Okay? This is a guy who almost killed Antonio Brown last year and didn't really show any remorse. This is a guy who literally went after Martellus Bennett's legs. And almost, could have definitely ended his season, maybe ended his career on a non-factor play. And Gronkowski got right in his face, and it was flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct. But this is something he should get. I think he should, and he will get a suspension. He needs to get at least a 2-game suspension for something like this. It's out of, he's such a piece of shit, and this guy is so bad for football.
Football!
Cincinnati is really a thug, thug nation. Him and Pac-Man Jones, really just doing whatever they want, and they can still play on Sunday, and they should be not only kicked out of the league, but they both should be arrested and put in jail. That's where they're animals. They are absolute animals. Vontez Burfict is the ultimate animal, and he shouldn't be on the field on Sundays because his thinking is to injure players, and not just injure them, but take out their legs and hit people in the head. And it's just there's no really. I could speak all day on this. He's a piece of shit, and I hope they suspend him or throw him out of the league.
All right, Payton wants replay for pass interference calls. Saints coach Sean Payton called for pass interference calls to be reviewable, quote, sooner than later, urging the competition committee to consider the issue.
You can't. It's never going to happen. I mean, NFL games are already 3.5, 4 hours anyway. If you're going to start reviewing pass interference calls, and it takes the human element out of the game for the referees, we can't start. Then we're going to be challenging and holding penalties and all this other stuff. So, the thing about it is pass interference really comes out to a 50-50, meaning balance on both sides. You always get hosed on a pass interference, but then you always get, one to even that out. Sean Payton, I think he's got, no leg to stand on in this. I don't think it's ever going to be changed because, the game's just going to slow down by that much if we're reviewing every single pass interference call.
Big Ben has knee surgery, no timeline for return. Ben Roethlisberger had arthroscopic knee surgery on his left knee Monday morning, but the Pittsburgh Steelers are uncertain when their star quarterback will return.
Yeah, now it's just a timetable when they can get him back.
McAdoo on OBJ antics, quote, need to keep our focus. Giants coach Ben McAdoo wants his team to, quote, keep our focus on the ball game. McAdoo said he spoke to Odell Beckham Jr. about his latest sideline antics.
It's never going to change. I mean, I remember throughout last year, we talked about Johnny Manziel pretty much every week, and I told you as a someone in recovery that he's never going to change, and now he's really ruined his life. Odell Beckham is never going to change. He's a word that I can't really pronounce. He's in that. I can pronounce it. I just can't say it. But he's an asshole. He's a Vontez Burfict in that class. He's a piece of shit. It's all about him. Phenomenal talent. Again, I mean, he's got arguably the most talent as any receiver in this league, but it's all about him, and it's look at me, and the world's against him, and all this other garbage that he takes to the field, and he's fighting people, and he almost killed Josh Norman last year. He has a lot of problems, and unfortunately, Ben McAdoo is not a Bill Parcells or type of guy. He's really like your local
accountant,
your local history teacher in middle school, and he's not going to do it. I mean, the only person that can get through to Odell Beckham is, I think, Tom Mclovin, but obviously that didn't happen when he talked to him. So Odell Beckham, great talent, but one of the worst people in the league is an ultimate piece of shit.
49ers Kelly, Kaepernick to start against Bucks. San Francisco 49ers coach Chip Kelly confirmed that Colin Kaepernick will remain the starting quarterback for the game Sunday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Should be a doozy. Two terrible teams.
Quinn to send no PI call play to the NFL for review. Falcons coach Dan Quinn said Monday he will send to the NFL for review the play in which there was no pass interference call made after Richard Sherman grabbed Julio Jones.
That was one of my jobs when I was in San Francisco was Coach Nolan would have me put together tapes on, pass interference calls or calls that that were terrible, basically. And all we would get back in the mail is, we are sorry, we missed the call. It really doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the outcome of the game. So it's kind of like a backhanded, yeah, you were right, but guess what? You still lost the game. So it's a no-win situation. I think Dean Blandino has probably already talked to those referees about, Winnie, the call, and I'm sure it will be addressed. But like I said, it's all for naught.
Texans O'Brien, no issues with quarterback Osweiler. Houston Texans coach Bill O'Brien downplayed reports of tension between him and quarterback Brock Osweiler.
I'm sure there is. Anytime you have a guy who just got $37 million guaranteed and a guy with his head coach, especially an offensive head coach, there's going to be some tension. I think you got to give, as bad as Brock Osweiler has played this entire season, he did really put it together in the last 2 minutes and was the main reason they came back and won. But basically that was against a terrible Indianapolis Colts team. We'll see. I think anytime you're losing, no one's happy. But if they can put a couple wins together, I think that they won't be arguing as much.
Governor inks bill paving way for NFL Stadium in Vegas. Nevada's governor signed a bill Monday clearing the way for a Las Vegas stadium that could be home to the Raiders, although NFL owners still must approve the team's move from Oakland.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is, I've been on the road for many years with an NFL team, really being in charge of the players, and when they get to the different cities. I just think that with all the immaturity and all these guys that are going to look to go to Vegas and get in trouble, it's going to happen. You can do your best but they do have free time on the road. And unless you're in Las Vegas and you just do it for, if you're playing on a Sunday, if you leave on a Saturday, you just get in Saturday night. They don't have time to get into trouble. But for sure, everything's going to get passed. Vegas is going to pass it hands down, I think, which has already happened. The money will be there. Come on, where are we talking? If there's anyone you want to build a stadium, it's Vegas because the money's there. Then it's a question of, do they want to take that risk of putting a team in Las Vegas? The Raiders, for sure, whether it's in Las Vegas or whether it's in Idaho, need a stadium. And I think just with that Raider fan base, and I think they're really playing with fire if they put a team in Las Vegas. I hope it happens. Trust me, I love it. I love the idea of putting a team in Las Vegas. I think that'd be, awesome. Just awesome.
Broncos Kubiak back, cites need for better sleep. Gary Kubiak returned to his job as head coach of the Broncos on Monday, having put another health scare behind him.
Yeah, basically all these health scares for coaches is basically stress-related. They're up all night. They don't sleep. They never go home. They sleep in their office. They're working 17, 18-hour, 19-hour days, and that's really what you have to do to be an effective head coach in this league. You really have to put every hour that you have awake in the day towards winning a football game on Sunday. That's what makes the NFL so special, is the fact of the matter. You play 16 games. They all mean something. Unfortunately, these coaches, really don't have a life for 10 months out of the year. But like we said, always that's what they signed out for. And, we see a lot of these coaches, really getting health concerns because of the stress, because of the time they have to put into work, because they got to do everything as a head coach. And, if I was a head coach, I'd be the same way. So you really have to do anything in your power to win.
Source, Dolphins safety Jones has torn rotator cuff. Miami could be without Pro Bowl safety Rashad Jones for the rest of the season after he tore his rotator cuff Sunday, a league source confirmed.
That's too bad. Just when the Dolphins are really coming together, for one game they lose a Pro Bowler, and rotator cuff is something that it's going to take over a year for that surgery to happen, and then the rehabilitation. So that's tough for them.
Quarterback Palmer says hamstring issue was cramping. Arizona quarterback Carson Palmer strained his hamstring and left Monday's rout of the Jets in the fourth quarter, an injury Cardinals coach Bruce Arians said he doesn't think is severe.
Well, I mean, this is a guy that's banged up all the time. He missed last week's game because of a concussion. He's old. I mean, no one's going to deny that. And his hamstrings have been utilized pretty good over the last, 12, 13 years. He'll play. He's a gamer. But I don't think there's much to worry about hamstring for Carson Palmer.
Fitzpatrick, still Jet starting quarterback, Bowles says. Coach Todd Bowles pulled Ryan Fitzpatrick in favor of backup Geno Smith in the Jets' loss Monday night, but said Fitzpatrick is the starter for at least another game.
The Jets are horrific, okay? I watched a lot of that game, and they are absolutely just a terrible, terrible, terrible football team. I think, Decker not being there is something that, obviously doesn't help him, but Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I was in Ryan Fitzpatrick corner since, even through the 6 interception game. They're terrible. He's terrible, and the Jets are an absolute shit show. We were watching Todd Bowles on the TV, and Andy asked me, "Do you think he wants to kill himself?" And I was like, "Probably." I mean, this is a bad football team. They don't have a quarterback.
He looked like he was crying at one point in the game. I swear to God, his eyes were red as fuck, and he looked like he was about to cry.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. They're terrible. Their offense is terrible, and that's all I can say about that.
After 5-0 opening, Vikings, quote, start a new season. Coming off their bye week, Coach Mike Zimmer and the Vikings are looking at the rest of the season as if they are 0-0 right now.
Well, Mike Zimmer, I'll tell you what, this guy's a tough bastard. He's a great head coach. Any team, that loses their starting quarterback and their starting running back that's still undefeated, the only undefeated team in the league. Originally, Minnesota was my Super Bowl prediction for the NFC, and then what's his name? Teddy went down, and I picked I forgot who I picked, Carolina, who's in the toilet. But you got to give a lot of credit to Sam Bradford, and I'll say I was wrong about Sam Bradford. I thought that he was going to be a shit show, and he's done a hell of a job. You got to give a lot of credit to that Minnesota team. Their defense is really, really good. They play as a team. They keep their mouths shut. You don't hear any locker room talk from Minnesota, and I think that's a direct reflection of Mike Zimmer as a head coach, who is probably the coach of the year as we talk right now. But if you can get guys to buy into what you're saying and really believe that it's a 0-0, then you're gonna win. You're gonna win. You're gonna win in the playoffs and go further.
All right, so let's go right into the standings here. Last week we had some interesting moves and shakes. Here's the deal. In the disqualified division, ex-captain Aroni is X, and Steve Goldman did not post their picks. C&J Sports Cards did. So C&J Sports Cards, you have won the disqualified division. You do not have to put in your picks for the rest of the season. You will be getting a gift card at the end of the year for winning the disqualified division. In the Better Late Than Never division, Andy Pichardo disqualified himself by not putting his picks in. So Cali Guy with a 27-35 record, Cali Guy at 27-35 has won the Better Late Than Never division. You do not have to post your picks the rest of the year. You have won that division. Actually, for you, Cali Guy, you actually can post your picks if you'd like, because you can still win gift cards against
Mclovin. He's got to try to get out of the hole. I mean,
well, that too.
We can't have
Mclovin.
We can't have a guy win.
Well, it's like the NFC East, like 3 years ago. Whatever it was.
But 8 games under 500.
Well, that's the drill.
Cali Guy had been. I really like you, Cali Guy. You're a good guy. You're a straight up guy. I think. I think you should try to get out of the hole.
All right. Well, if Cali Guy, if you want to post your picks, you do have the chance to win gift cards. Now we go to the regular division. We have 4 people in the regular division. We have Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., we have Vadix, we have CV Gunn, and we have Yes to Anything That Is Cool Awesome. So, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. went 10-5 last week. He beat both Mclovin and the Big Ticket. So, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., you need to email me at andyvhb@aol.com so I can send you 2 gift cards for beating both of them. You went 10-5. Your record is now 53-38. Vaddix went 8-7. You are now 48-43. CV Gunn went 6-9. He is now 50-41. And yes to anything that is cool awesome went 8-7. He is now 56-35. So, yes to anything that is cool awesome, 56-35. You are in first place. Second place, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., 3 games out. Third place, CV Gunn, 6 games out. And last place, Vaddix, 8 games out. As far as me, the big ticket, and Mclovin, the big ticket last week, here were his picks. I'll show you guys right here. He did give them to me. I forgot to make the video, but he missed 2 games. It cost 2 losses for him. So he went 8-7 last week for an overall record of 56-35. I went 6-9 last week, so I am now 54-37. And Mclovin went 9-6 last week, so he won the division for all of us at 58-33. So at 58-33, he is in first place. The big ticket is 2 games out, and I am 4 games out.
What about me versus?
Well, we haven't done this, huh?
Thomas, me versus.
Well, as far as the real division, the 2 divisions combined, you are in first place. Yes, anything that is cool awesome is 2 games behind you.
Okay.
He is 56-35. You are 58-33. Okay. And then Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. would be 5 games behind.
Okay.
So that's
still beating everybody.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Now let's go into your how'd you do against the spread?
8-5-2.
Now here's the thing, folks. If you're not watching this video all the way through, or if you're not paying attention to the spread, I actually used Mclovin's picks. I had $100 in there, or $130. I bet 13 of the games, and I went 7-5-2. I won $25. I mean, I bet $10 a game. Had I bet $100 a game, I would have won what? We're talking $250.
Yeah.
So it's real simple. It's not that hard. Even though he's dropped the last 3 weeks, it's not by much.
Well, you mean dropped in percentage?
Correct, percentage-wise. Yeah.
Still winning weeks.
Yeah.
2 winning weeks. Yeah. Every week's been a winning week.
Yeah.
Through 6 weeks. We're at a 61% clip, which through 6 weeks in NFL football is really good. I'm really proud of it, and it's going. I'm not going to plummet. I'm really confident in what I do.
So let's go right on into the spread for this week. Let's start with the Thursday night game. Chicago at Green Bay. Green Bay is favored by 7.5.
Green Bay minus 7.5.
Correct. We have Green Bay minus 7.5. I'm going to put week 7 up here. All right, week 7, right? Yeah. And then Sunday, Giants in L.A. The Giants are favored on the road by 3.
L.A. plus 3.
Okay. Then we have Saints in Kansas City. Kansas City at home is favored by 6.5.
Saints plus 6.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh. You don't think New Orleans is going to murder him?
What?
You don't think New Orleans is going to murder him?
No, New Orleans is getting points.
No. Oh, you said Saints plus 6.5.
Yeah.
I heard Chiefs in my head.
No.
That's why I was like, what the fuck?
We got to redo we got to look at I said Saints plus 6.5.
Yeah, so you did say Saints plus 6.5. For some reason, I was fucked up in my head. All right, Colts in Tennessee. Tennessee is at home, favored by 2.5.
Colts plus 2.5.
Okay. Vikings at Eagles. Vikings on the road, favored by 2.5.
Philly plus 2.5.
Ooh. I'm going to take Minnesota plus a bazillion. But anyway. Or Minnesota minus a bazillion. Browns at Bengals. Cincinnati's favored by 10.
Browns plus 10.
Yeah. All right. Then we have Redskins at Lions. Lions at home, favored by 1.5.
Redskins plus 1.5.
Then we got Raiders and Jaguars. Jacksonville at home, favored by 1.
Raiders plus 1.
Then we have Bills and Dolphins in Miami. Buffalo favored by 3 on the road.
Buffalo minus 3.
Then we have Ravens at Jets. New York at home, favored by 1.
Baltimore.
Baltimore
minus 1.
plus 1.
Oh, plus 1?
Yeah.
The Jets are favored?
Jets are favored by 1.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. 4:05 game, Buccaneers in San Francisco. Tampa Bay on the road, favored by 1.5.
San Francisco plus 1.5.
Basically taking them to win. Chargers in Atlanta. Atlanta at home, favored by 6.5.
San Diego plus 6.5.
All right, so then we have Patriots in Pittsburgh. New England on the road, favored by 7.
Pittsburgh plus 7.
Seahawks at the Cardinals. Arizona at home, favored by 1.
Seattle.
Seattle +1.
Seattle +1.
Texans, and then the Monday. That was the 8:30 game, by the way, on Sunday night, and then Monday night game. Texans in at Broncos.
Oh God.
Houston in Denver. Denver at home, favored by 7.5.
Houston +7.5.
All right, so let's go right to the straight pick'ems. Straight pick'ems. All right, so let's go right on into here.
Okay.
Bears, Packers.
Packers.
Okay, Green Bay. Giants, Rams.
Rams.
Okay. Saints, Chiefs.
Chiefs.
You're picking Kansas City to win the game.
Yeah.
I am picking New Orleans. Pat is picking Kansas City. Colts, Titans.
Colts.
Okay. Vikings, Eagles.
Ooh, that's going to be a good game. I think Philly's going to beat them. Philly.
All right, I'm taking Minnesota. Oops. Philly and then Minnesota. All right, Browns, Bengals.
Bengals.
Okay. Redskins, Lions.
Redskins.
Raiders, Jaguars.
Raiders.
Bills, Dolphins.
Bills.
Ravens, Jets.
Ravens.
Buccaneers, 49ers.
49ers.
Taking Tampa Bay. He's taking San Francisco. Chargers, Falcons.
Falcons.
Patriots, Steelers.
Pats.
Seahawks, Cardinals.
Seahawks.
And Texans, Broncos.
Broncos.
All right, so we differ on looks like 3 games. I'm picking New Orleans. You're picking Kansas City. I'm picking Minnesota. You're picking Philadelphia, and I'm picking Tampa. You're picking San Francisco. Treat. All right. And it is our favorite time of day.
It's my dad's favorite time. We're gonna give EDP445 a phone call. EDP's been very down in the dumps lately because his Philadelphia Eagles have really come back to earth, and we'll see what he has to say for himself.
Sorry. The person you called has a voicemail box.
Okay, I guess he's really down in the dumps because he didn't pick up his phone.
Yeah, hold on. Let me text him.
Okay.
We'll see what's going on. There we go. Hey, what's up, man?
Shit, man. Where them bad bitches at, my boy?
Welcome back, EDP, to the end of the show. Fantasy football with Mclovin and the Big Ticket.
Back.
We got a couple games on the docket, but first up, what is your upset of the week?
My upset of the week? Shit, I don't fucking even know who's fucking playing, dude. I have to fucking
Philly.
go on the mobile app right now.
Philly's gonna beat.
Upset of the week?
Philly's gonna beat Minnesota.
Yeah, ain't no fucking upset. That's a fucking ass whooping shit. Yeah. Upset of the week, I got the fucking, whatever this bitch wants to fucking load. Okay. What's it, week 6?
Week 7.
Oh, week 7. Oh, shit.
Couple more weeks, man, and we'll be at Giant Stadium.
You already the fuck know, man. Upset of the week, I got the Bears over the Packers.
You should have seen McLovin's face when you said that. All right, let's go right into So we have 3 differing games. We'll start off with the first game. New Orleans Saints in Kansas City. Who do you have?
Oh man, I got Kansas City, man.
That's what Mclovin picked. So Mclovin got Kansas City with EDP. That's an EDP specialized pick. And then we got the Minnesota, we'll say that later. Tampa Bay Buccaneers in San Francisco. Who do you have?
Oh, man, I got Tampa Bay, dude. San Francisco ain't shit, man. They're fucking 1-1. picks? 1 and 5?
1 and 5, yeah.
That's an EDP specialized pick. I also had Tampa Bay, so we're 1-1. And then the last game, I'm picking Minnesota. Mclovin over here is picking Philadelphia. Well, let's hear EDP. Mclovin's going to tell you why he's picking Philly. Go ahead.
I think that Philly's at home. They've played like absolute dog shit the last couple of weeks. They got ran over by Washington. It was an ugly game. And I think that they're going to come back and they're going to give Minnesota their first loss.
I got Minnesota blowing up the fuck out by a score of 37-3.
All right, man.
And by the way, man, hold on, dog. Hey, by the way, I don't know if you saw my video. I was going to predict a fucking shutout 37-0, so I'm actually being fucking generous by giving us 3 points.
I didn't know. I haven't seen the video. The last video I saw that you posted was the Lonely Day one.
Yeah, man, they're gonna fucking kill our ass, bro.
Well, I'm rooting for you, obviously.
No, you're not.
Well, I'm rooting for him to win.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to see him lose, obviously. I hope Philadelphia deep down wins. I'd be great if that was it, but I'm picking Minnesota realistically.
That's why
no. There's a
That's
difference.
why you're 4 games
yeah,
back.
There's a difference between realistic picking and heart picking. My heart's with Philadelphia. I hope they win. Realistically, I think Minnesota will win, but my heart is with Philadelphia. Yeah. All right, EDP, thanks a lot, man. We'll see you next week. And remember, a couple weeks, we're going to be in a Giants Stadium, Eagles versus Giants, and EDP445 situation. Thanks, man.
See ya.
Man, I appreciate you guys for having me on, man.
Anytime.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right. And that's been it. See ya.